Everybody, Ryan O'Halloran along with Jay Skurski, Buffalo News here at training camp. The cap and the sunglasses stayed on today because it's getting to that point of camp. But the pads go on Monday morning. Business is going to pick up.
Yeah.
What can we expect if you're a fan out here tomorrow as well?
Yeah, I think this is when the real evaluation period starts, right? Especially when you consider the offensive and defensive lines. It's really hard to evaluate that play until they're in pads. That's not just us saying it, that's the coaches saying it too, right? And so I think you mentioned the weather. It's hot. It's expected to be hot this week. This is where you start to see tensions kind of flaring. You know, these guys are sick of going against each other at this point. The first day of pads is always one that I think has some extra emotion, some extra pop. That's true for the players. It's true for the fans, for the coaches. It's one step closer to real football. And so I think we'll see a really competitive practice on Monday as we lead into, getting closer to preseason action.
Yeah, I mean, when I covered Mike Shanahan back in the day, he says, running backs, linebackers, safeties, you don't start evaluating until the pads come on. So yeah. I would watch those players. One other player, we talked about him a lot. What can Von Miller do?
Von Miller. Absolutely. I mean, that's what you have to see it from him, right? This is the time now where you want to see him ramping up and starting to show that he can be, maybe not the Von Miller of old in terms of his prime, but the Von Miller of the first half of 2022 would be sufficient for the Bills. Real quick, Ryan, we heard from Matthew Smiley, the special teams coordinator, today before practice, first time here at training camp. You had a big story in the Buffalo News on Sunday about the new kickoff rules. What'd you take away from Smiley's session today?
Well, it's going to be trial and error. Hopefully the trial leads to success, but I think the preseason games are going to be interesting. I think Sean McDermott's going to have a lot to do with that. Is he going to hold all his cards and just tell Tyler Bass, kick through the end zone? Yeah. We want to surprise teams in week one. So if you don't see a lot of kickoff, cloak and dagger, don't be surprised. But come week one, as a fan of the game, you hope that it's going to add some juice to a play that normally you have your head down in your computer for.
Yep.
So we always screw that up. For Jay, I'm Ryan. Thanks to Catherine for shooting this video. BuffaloNews.com. We'll be back here on Monday.